Assalamu alaikum viewers, welcome to my channel Grammar Literacy. It's our 8th lecture today and we are going to discuss the parts of speech, and today we are going to discuss about the pronoun. In the previous lecture we have discussed about the adjectives, and today we are going to deal with the pronoun. What is a pronoun? Pronoun is a word that is used instead of noun or in place of noun, or you have another word for the noun. So this is called a pronoun. For a noun, you can also see that it is written in the definition that for a noun. So it is going to use instead of noun, it is going to use in place of noun, or for a noun, or another word for the noun. Any kind of definition it comes across, that is the pronoun. Okay, here we are having some examples. That is, I am young. Here we are going to replace some noun. It could be my name, Kandil. It could be Ali. It could be Ahmed. It could be Sarah. It could be any name. But I am using here I, the pronoun I here. So whoever is talking about, he is telling us about his young age, and he is not taking his name. Instead of name, he is writing that I am young. So I here is a word that is used instead of some noun, so it is called the pronoun. The next one is they are old. Who is old? Like we are talking about some persons that they are getting old, in the old age, having some wrinkles, gray hairs, but we are not talking about their names. We are not taking their specific names here. We are just replacing their names by a single word, they. Here they is a pronoun. The next one is Ali is absent. Here in the first part of the sentence we are having a proper noun, that is called Ali. Ali is absent because he is ill. Here he is a pronoun because it is referring back to Ali, and what we call it, it's a pronoun, but in specific or formal language it is antecedent because it is referring back to the previous one. While discussing the different types of pronouns, we are going to discuss about the reflexive, relative, antecedent, personal, impersonal, emphatic, or many other types, so that the things will be more and more clear to you. Whereas all you have to do is making the notes. So here Ali is a proper noun because he is ill. He is a pronoun. Ali is a proper noun and he is a pronoun. So you are well clear about the pronoun. We have already discussed about the pronoun in the previous lecture. Who are new to the channel, they can also find the link right over there. Kinds of pronoun. Today what is our main area to cover is kinds of noun, or different kinds of pronoun. Kinds of pronoun are different types of pronoun. The first one is the personal pronoun. Okay viewers, what is personal pronoun? What personals also show some, we are going to deal with some persons here. Personal pronoun. Personal mean to say is we are going to discuss about some persons. Personal pronouns stands for some person. In specific, three persons. It is going to deal with the three persons. First one is, if you are going to look at the example, the first person speaking. First person speaking, like who is talking about something, or who is talking to somebody, or someone who is speaking firstly, it is called the first person, and it is I or we. We or I, the person who are standing and who are going to start a negotiation about something to other person, that is the first person, and these are called the personal pronouns. The second one, the person spoken to whom you are speaking with, or to whom you are talking with, that is called the second person, and it is you, because somebody who is standing in front of me, I will call or I will address that person with the word you. You have to do this. You have to go there. You have to do this work. You have to work according to the needs or according to the situation. So here, what you is the second person, and the person spoken of or things spoken of about what we are talking, about whom we are talking, about whom we are negotiating, about whom we are having some conversation, that is called the third person. And it could be he, she, or they, somebody who is not present right over there or maybe present right over there, but some four of you are talking, first person is talking to the second person about the third person, that is called the third person. And it could be he, she, or they, personal pronouns, because it is written in the end of the sentence, I and we and you and he, she, and they. These specific words are called the personal pronouns. Viewers, you are clear about the personal pronoun? Once again, I'm going to tell you that the personal pronouns stand for persons or some, it is going to deal with some person. In specific, they are going to deal with the three persons. The first person is speaking about something. It is called the first person. The person spoken to, it is called the second person, and the person spoken of, it is called the third person. It could be he, it could be she, it could be they. The next one is the impersonal pronoun. What is impersonal pronoun? Impersonal pronoun seems to stand for no noun, like there is no noun, but we are having some pronoun. Okay, now look at the examples so that the things are more and more clear to you. First one is it rains. We are talking about rain, but we are just talking it rains. It is the pronoun, that is the impersonal pronoun, and rains is a verb here. It snows, it thunders. So here it rains means the rain rains, but it is a impersonal pronoun because the exactly the noun is not present there. It snows, it, and then the verb is here, and it thunders. It is a pronoun and personal pronoun, and thunders is a verb here. So it stands for no noun, like there is no specific noun about which we are talking, but we could understand the meaning by the sentence, a short one that is only the noun plus verb. Here, work like noun and verb. In the third lecture, we have talked about the most possible expressions. So here it is the noun and verb expression. So we understood about the thing that what is called rain. It rains mean we are talking about the rain rains. The next one is the reflexive pronoun. Alright viewers, what is a reflexive pronoun? When the action done by the subjects turn back upon the subject. Here the subject is one, and action done by that subject is done by on that subject who is doing some work. Like I hit myself or I hurt myself. Hurt like mean to say is I'm going to make some problem for myself. Here I am talking about myself. Here I is a reflexive pronoun and myself is also a reflexive pronoun, but both are working for only one man, that is I. I'm talking about myself. Here the other definition or possible definition is when self is added to my, yours, and him. But in all over the cases, the subject turn backs towards the subject. Action of the subject turn backs towards the subject. It could be he hit himself. He and himself both are the same person, but here only the word hit and was, so that the action is going to turn back towards that person which we are talking about. So here the action done by the subject turn back to the subject is the definition. I think that the things are more and more clear. You can ask the question in the comment box. Let's go with the next definition. Alright viewers, the next kind is emphatic pronoun. Emphatic word says emphasis. You are going to give a good stress about something, or you are going to have some stress about something or importance about something. So what is emphatic pronoun? Pronoun used for the sake of emphasis. As I told you earlier, that it could be the definition that some sake of emphasis, stress, importance. Compound personal pronouns are used for the sake of emphasis. So compound personal pronouns are the emphatic pronouns. You can say the compound personal pronouns, or you can say the emphatic pronouns. So like compound personal pronoun, you can see in the interesting information I have given that by adding the suffix in the end, for singular it is self, but for plural it is selves. So here we are going to put the suffix in the end. Suffixes also come in the end of this word. Like if we are having them or it, we are going to give them selves. So we are putting it in the end of the word so that the meanings are going to be changed. Like if we are having our mean to say we are talking about our own, so we are putting self in the end, so our self is going to change some meanings in it. The next one could be himself, herself, itself, themselves, any kind of word. So these are called the compound personal pronouns. You're clear about the compound personal pronouns. Now look at the emphatic pronouns. What is called the emphatic pronouns? Emphatic pronouns definitely give some stress about something. Now look at the examples that they cannot do it themselves. Like they cannot do this. If somebody is asking about something that how they are going to do this, or I think it is hard for them to complete this, the next person is giving the answer that they cannot do it themselves. Here themselves, I'm going to give some stress. I'm going to give a pause and then going to give some stress about it. You can well understand while the accent that they cannot do it themselves. So you can understand that I'm going to give some stress about themselves, that it is hard for them, or they need some kind of aid or help to complete it. The next one is the town itself is not very large. Here I'm going to give a pause about itself so you understood the thing that I was talking about towns, it's quite small. Town is very small. So the town itself is not very large. Somebody is asking about it, that the event is going to be happen in the town, how it is going to be happen in the town, or how you are going to manage the things right over there. So somebody is giving the answer that town itself is not very large, so things will be difficult for us. So this is the whole scenario. The emphatic pronouns are basically depends on the stress giving, or some importance or emphasis on something. The next one is demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative pronouns or demonstrative pronouns both can be uttered at the same time. Or in the previous lecture I have told you about the demonstrative adjectives, basically the pointing out. This demonstrative gives us the pointing out or referring about some object or referring about some place or referring about anything. So here the word used instead of noun is going to point out some object. It is called the demonstrative pronouns. Word used to point out the object which they refers. For example, this book is mine. This book, I'm talking about this book. I'm going to point out that book, that this book is mine. Teacher is asking, for example, if I have to create a scenario, whose book is this? So I have to stand up and I have to, there are 2-3 books, but I have to stand up and I have to point out by my finger, or I have to give indication that this book is mine, which is in your hand. It could be the sentence, that pen is yours. The next sentence is, that pen is yours. For example, somebody is uh, checking about the pen, that I've lost my pen, where is my pen, where is my pen? So somebody has addressed that, you have to look at me, that pen is yours. So it is a questioning type sentence, or it's an asking. So that is here pointing about that specific pen about which a person is asking. So it is called the demonstrative pronoun. The next one is, what was that noise? Someone is hearing some noise, and somebody is asking about some noise, that have you heard that noise, or what is this? Or somebody is coming out from the home and asking to somebody, what was that noise? Like, have you heard that sound, have you heard that noise? So what was that? So somebody is specifically asking about that noise, or pointing out about that noise that has happened earlier before. So this is called the demonstrative pronoun. Here this and that are called the demonstrative pronoun. um, it could be all, because like all can also point out to the object about which we are referring for, or all can also point out the persons about which we are talking about. For example, if I have to give you an sentence for an example, it could be, all such people ought to be avoided. Like, they are not good at all about their manners, so you have to avoid them. So here we are going to use all. It could be like, those, then. It could be any other word, it could be many words, but specifically this, that, those, all, these are called the demonstrative pronouns. The next one is the indefinite pronoun. Indefinite pronoun refers to a person or a thing in general way. Like, we are having no specific thing here, we are talking about the general way. We are not having a particular place or a thing to refer, we are just talking in general. For example, I will take you there one day, I will take you there one day. For example, somebody is asking, I like that place, when you are going to take me there? So the answer could be, I will take you there one day. Like, one day we will definitely visit that place. Or, any fool can only do this. Like, nobody is talking about some specific person, they are just talking about in general, that who can do this, only fool can do this, or any fool can only do this. So these are called the indefinite pronoun, because they refers to the person or thing in the general way. They are not going to refer to the person or thing in the particular way. So let's look about the next few types. Alright viewers, the next is the distributive pronoun. Distributive pronoun. Alright viewers, the next one is the distributive pronoun. Okay, what is the distributive pronoun? We have already discussed about that it refers to a person or thing at a time, or everybody or every person or a thing at one time. So here we are having a pronoun word used instead of noun that refers to person or thing at a time. For example, each of man received a reward. Each of a man received a reward. So here we are talking about every man. That could be a company or some working place. Here the owner is going to address to the employees that each of a man received a reward. So here each mean to say is everybody working right over there. The next example is, I bought each of these mangoes for 3 rupees. Okay, each of these mangoes. Here we are going to put the stress about these mangoes, but basically each of is the distributive pronoun. So here these some specific mangoes that he has bought, and they all of these specific mangoes are of 3 rupees only. So he is talking about the things at one time. This is called the distributive pronoun. The next one is the relative pronoun. Quite tragic or tricky kind of pronoun, but it's simple and very easy after understanding. You just have to focus about relative word, relative that relates to, that is having some referring about other thing. So basically it refers or relate to some noun going before in the previous part of the sentence, like it is going to refer back. It is also called the antecedent in the language of linguistics. So basically it is the antecedent because it is going to refer back to some kind of noun in the sentence or in the previous part of the sentence. It is called the relative pronoun because it relates to the previous part of some sentence. So it relates to the previous part of some sentence, but specifically it relates to the noun. For example, I met Hamad who had just returned home. So I am talking to somebody that I met Hamad. Here is the person Hamad that I am going to refer him in the next sentence, that who had just returned home. Who is basically we are referring towards the Hamad. The next one is here is the book that you lent me. Here is the book. That is here, which is referring back about that book, that specific book that somebody has lent me some days earlier. So here is the book that you lent me. Here who and that are the relative pronouns. Alright viewers, the next one is the compound relative pronoun. Okay, let's look at the definition. Compound relative pronouns are pronouns formed by adding ever and so with whom, which, or what. We are going to add ever and so to whom, who, which, or what. For example, I have given some of the formulas so that you are going to understand that what we are talking. First one is the combination of who plus ever, which makes whoever. The next one is the who plus so, which makes whoso. And the third one, a very common one, is what plus ever is called the whatever. Here we are having an interesting information that having no antecedent, the compound relative pronoun, I told you earlier that relative pronoun refers or relate to something, but here in the compound relative pronoun it is not having any relative or any referring back or relates to some other part of the sentence. It is talking in general, but we are having some compound words, compound pronouns that are formed by the combination of two words, that is who plus ever, who plus so, what plus ever, that is whoever, whoso, and whatever. For example, now look at the examples. The things are more and more clear that where it is used. Whoever, any person, comes here is welcome, or whoever comes is welcome here. Here mean to say whoever, anybody, any person, whoever comes here is welcome. Yeah, like we are going to give a welcome to a person who is going to come here, or who is going to join the party, or who is going to join the team, or who is going to do some volunteer work. It could be any kind of scenario here. The next one is I will take with me whosoever you have chosen. Somebody is going to take some or make some peer or group, and that person is asking to the other person that whoever you are going to choose, I will take them with me. So here the word compound relative pronoun is whomsoever, like any of the person that you have chosen, I'm gonna take him or her with me. So these are called the compound relative pronoun. Once again, I'm going to repeat that they are having no work with the antecedent. There is no uh, compound sentences, the first part and the second part, and not referring back of that sentences. These are simple. The next one is interrogative pronoun. Why are interrogative pronoun? Interrogation means asking the question, but here similar in form to the relative pronouns. Like by looking at them, you can see that they are very close to the relative pronoun, but they do not have to do anything like the relative pronouns, but the work which they are doing is different. But the work which they are doing is different. The next thing is they are used for asking the question. I have told you that interrogative, asking the question. 8-9 lectures, maybe you have understood 2-3 things very clear: demonstrative, pointing out, distributive, each of them. Interrogative, asking the question. Compound, making of two. Relative, relates to something. The names are same, but the work is different according to their uses. The parts of speeches are very overlapping with each other. Their kinds are very close to each other, but the work they do is quite different. So look at the example of interrogative. I asked who was speaking. It could be the scenario that somebody is asking about on the phone, that who is speaking, who was speaking, who was there. If someone is not telling, then the person is going to give the stress, and she or he may be in stressfully condition asking about. I asked who was speaking, who was there, who was on the other line. So this is not the referring back or not the relative pronoun, but they are having some asking abilities, some questioning abilities, so they are called the interrogative pronoun. The next one is I do not know who is there. Like I don't have any idea about that. Who is there? So there is no referring back, not any noun is present in the first part of the sentence that we are referring, but we are asking a question. Simply it's about asking a question. Who is there? Like we are asking about it, that who is there about whom we are talking. We are just asking a question. Whose is this book? It's a possessive one, but it is a very, asking a question. What is that? It's a nominative clause, but it is very common, which is used here, and it is an interrogative pronoun. The next one is who goes there? Whose umbrella is this? So these are the interrogative pronouns. These are the different types of pronouns that today we have discussed. I think that things are more and more clear to you. If you like my video, give me the thumbs up, give your comments in the comment box below, and share it with your friends. Goodbye. Take care.